Hello, parents. So it's Jeff Remster with 7 Star Martial Arts here, and I was asked by some parents to come up with a message, not just for the parents, but for the kids. So this is a kid-specific message. So if you want to get your kids and bring them in, what we're going to be talking about today is goal setting and how to set goals for your kids. Now, if your kids are really young, this may not be as applicable, but I think pretty much anybody could get something out of this. So, kids, pay attention. When it comes to goal setting, it's your responsibility, not your parents, to set goals for you. So you have to think about things that you want. And it could be something that you and your parent have a common goal in. I'm going to use, for example, to start off with Kung Fu. So your goal may be to get your black belt. Now this is a very long-term goal for some of you. For others of you, it's right around the corner. So let's just use that as an example. So number one is to write it down. So what you should do is, we're going to take action right now. We're not going to wait and just make this be a thought. So kids, I want mom or dad to pause this video. I want you to go get paper and pencil so you can write this down. Go do that, and then you can continue watching. Okay, now when it comes to writing it down, be specific. So let's say that you want to get your black belt, and of course you need to have milestones along the way, which we're going to get to that in just a second. So before we go any further, write down a list of pros and cons. Parents, you might have to help your kids to understand what pros and cons are. But let's say for black belt, the cons would be that it's going to take up a lot of your time. You're going to have less time to do things that you want to do outside of this. It's going to hurt sometimes. But talk about the pros. It's going to make you a more confident person. It's going to give you skills that other kids don't have. You'll be able to defend yourself. You'll be stronger. You'll be faster. So write down the pros and cons. Make sure that the pros outweigh the cons. Then you're going to have to write down small steps, the who, the what, and the when. So it could be the who is who's going to make sure that you practice your techniques. So now parents, this is something that, yes, it's true, the kids should be the ones practicing, but think about any time that you've done any kind of workout or exercise. If you do all of it on your own, it's really hard to stay motivated. If you have a partner that does it with you, it becomes much easier. Or if you have a class that you attend, it's much easier. So help your child out with this. It could be that you are the person that helps them practice. That means that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for example, you're going to go with them, and even if you don't know how to help them with their techniques, just be there and available for them. So you could be the who. The what would be, I'm going to practice 2 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever it is that you decide on. And then the when would be, well, we just said that. So be very specific about what it is that you need to practice, how many forms you need to practice, what techniques you need to practice. And at the beginning level, I would say practice just your current stuff. And as you grow in the martial arts, you need to add in older stuff that you might have forgotten that you need to keep up your skills in. And then monitor progress. So along with these small steps should be prizes, something that you get for it that shows that you're making progress. In Kung Fu, of course, every 3 months you get a belt if you know your techniques. So that's a progress thing. But let's say that this is not just a Kung Fu oriented thing. Let's say that you have goals on lying. What if your child has been someone who's lying? Or what if your child has had issues with fighting with your brother or sister? So you can do the exact same thing. So go back, starting at the beginning, write it down. Write down that, this lying or whatever it is. Then be specific. I've been lying and I don't want to anymore. And so write down the pros and cons. If you lie, what's good about it? And usually nothing. It may save you in that moment not being in trouble, but what are the cons of it? You get in double trouble if you get caught, and just list it out. List out the pros and cons of lying. Or whatever the issue is, whatever your bad habit is. Write down the small steps of who, what, and when. So when it comes to something like lying, I would say write down that if you go every day that you go, that you haven't told a lie, you get to put your initials on a calendar, something like that. And the what would be, well, that was the what, sorry. The who would be who's going to initial the calendar with you, parent. And then when would be 1 week without lying. You go a week without lying and you get something for it. Now, I wouldn't make this something big. Maybe you get to choose what the family has for breakfast on that weekend, or something. You guys can figure out what that is. And then maybe if you go a month without lying, you do make it something big. You go out for ice cream, you get to go to, that's something that you guys can figure out. But monitor the progress and make sure that they are getting something for it so that they can see that the goals that they're setting pay off. And you can do this with anything that you want to come to pass. So hopefully that will help you guys in goal setting. Let me know in the comments below what you are trying to set goals for, and if you need any help with it, I'd be glad to help. All right, kids, work hard. See you in class.